Every man has been there. You meet a woman who seems perfect. She's charming, attentive, and makes you feel alive again. But slowly things start to shift. You notice how small arguments turn into emotional battles. How your peace starts to fade. How her words make you doubt yourself. You keep hoping things will go back to how they were in the beginning, but deep down, you already know the truth. You're losing yourself trying to please someone who doesn't truly value you. And that's the moment a Stoic man wakes up, because he knows that no pleasure is worth the destruction of his inner peace. If you're tired of wasting energy on the wrong people, take a second to like this video and subscribe. What we're about to talk about isn't about judging women. It's about protecting your soul as a man who values peace, self-mastery, and emotional strength. These are the red flags Stoic men never ignore in women. Number 1. She constantly tests your boundaries. A Stoic man understands that his boundaries are his fortress. They're not walls meant to isolate, but lines meant to preserve his mental and emotional balance. When a woman constantly challenges those boundaries, she's revealing her lack of respect for your sense of order. Maybe she mocks your principles, interrupts your peace with emotional games, or pushes your limits just to see how you'll react. It may seem harmless at first, but it's a silent erosion of your self-respect. A Stoic man doesn't take that lightly, because he knows once peace is broken, it rarely returns the same. Boundaries reveal character. The woman who respects your time, your purpose, and your silence understands discipline. She values you as a man. But the one who keeps pushing, manipulating, or using guilt to get her way shows she's not interested in partnership. She's interested in control. And when control replaces respect, love slowly dies. A Stoic man doesn't engage in long debates to prove his boundaries are valid. He simply reinforces them with calm action. If she disrespects your peace, he doesn't argue. He distances. If she tests him repeatedly, he doesn't explain. He detaches. He knows that words may be twisted, but silence never lies. The wisdom of Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. A Stoic man lives by that truth. A woman who invades your peace isn't just testing your patience. She's testing your mastery over yourself. In the end, the Stoic man doesn't seek revenge or validation. He simply walks away, not because he doesn't care, but because he does. For his peace, for his dignity, and for the man he refuses to lose in the chaos of someone else's storm. Number 2, she plays the victim in every story. One of the clearest red flags a Stoic man observes is how a woman talks about her past. If every ex was toxic, every friend betrayed her, and every challenge was someone else's fault, he doesn't see tragedy. He sees a pattern. The constant victim mentality is a mask worn by those who fear responsibility. It's the inability to look inward, to ask the hard questions, and to grow from pain. A Stoic man knows that life is filled with suffering, but he also knows that our response to suffering defines us. A woman who always paints herself as the victim never learned that lesson. Her world revolves around blame, not accountability. And when you're in her life, you'll eventually become the next villain in her story. It's not personal, it's a pattern of projection. Instead of judging her, the Stoic man simply observes. He doesn't argue or try to fix her perspective. He watches her reactions to small frustrations. Does she take ownership when she's wrong? Or does she twist the narrative to protect her ego? He knows that emotional maturity isn't shown in how someone behaves when everything is fine, but in how they behave when things fall apart. Stoic men avoid women who refuse to reflect, because in Stoicism, self-awareness is the beginning of all wisdom. A woman who avoids will drag you into endless cycles of emotional chaos, and no amount of love can save her from herself. You cannot build peace with someone who feeds on conflict. So, the Stoic man withdraws, not from fear, but from understanding. He knows that sympathy without boundaries turns into self-destruction. He chooses solitude over emotional storms, and peace over pity. Number 3. She seeks validation from the world. Another red flag Stoic men never ignore is the woman who needs constant validation, from likes, compliments, or attention. Her confidence depends on how others see her, not how she sees herself. At first, she seems confident, outgoing, and full of life. But soon, you notice her energy shifts when the attention fades. The silence makes her restless. She needs to be admired to feel alive. A Stoic man, on the other hand, draws his worth from his values, not opinions. So when he meets a woman enslaved by external validation, he sees the danger clearly. Because what she needs is endless attention, and what he offers is grounded peace. That combination always leads to conflict. A woman addicted to validation will unconsciously compete for it, even against you. She'll seek admiration elsewhere when you stop feeding her ego. And when she doesn't get it, she'll create drama to feel significant again. The Stoic man understands this is not love. It's emptiness disguised as confidence. He doesn't condemn her. He simply recognizes that you cannot build something stable on emotional dependency. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If her thoughts are consumed by how others perceive her, her soul is painted with insecurity, and that will eventually color your life too. A Stoic man values peace, purpose, and inner stability. He would rather walk alone than chase someone whose happiness depends on applause. Because attention fades, but character remains. And in the long run, only one of them leads to peace. Number 4. She disrespects your purpose. For a Stoic man, purpose isn't a hobby. It's the center of his existence. It's what gives his life direction and meaning. So when a woman mocks, belittles, or competes with that purpose, it's an immediate red flag. She doesn't have to understand every part of it, but she must respect it. A woman who constantly distracts you from your goals or complains about the time you spend on your mission doesn't love you. She loves your attention. A Stoic man observes this quietly. He doesn't argue when she says things like, "You're too focused on your work," or "You don't spend enough time with me." He listens and realizes she's revealing her priorities. A wise man knows that the right woman adds peace to his mission, not chaos. She motivates you to go further, not guilt trips you for doing so. A woman who tries to pull you away from your discipline is subconsciously threatened by your growth. She fears losing control over you because your focus makes you stronger. The Stoic man sees this as a test of alignment, because two people with different purposes can't walk the same path. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." A Stoic man lives by this rule. If a woman's presence constantly pulls him off his path, he knows it's time to let go. Because love without respect for purpose is a slow poison. It kills your drive and eventually your identity. And so, the Stoic man walks away, not in anger, but with calm conviction. Because a woman who doesn't honor his mission doesn't deserve to be part of it. Number 5, she has no control over her emotions. A Stoic man doesn't demand perfection. He understands that humans feel deeply. But emotional control is non-negotiable. If a woman constantly explodes, blames, or punishes you with silent treatment, she hasn't mastered herself. Her emotions rule her. And when emotions rule, peace dies. A Stoic man studies her reactions. How does she handle frustration? Does she communicate or attack? Does she breathe through anger or fuel it? Because how she treats you during conflict reveals who she truly is. The one who seeks to understand will grow with you. The one who seeks to dominate will destroy you. He knows that love built on chaos never lasts. Stoicism teaches that calm is power. So a man who has learned stillness can't survive in an environment of constant turbulence. A woman who thrives on emotional outbursts will drain your energy until there's nothing left to give. But rather than trying to fix her, the Stoic man fixes his response. He doesn't mirror her chaos. He doesn't argue or defend himself endlessly. He simply steps back and lets silence do the work. Because sometimes silence is the most powerful mirror. It reveals who can handle calm and who can't. In the end, the Stoic man values emotional maturity over beauty, calmness over intensity, and peace over passion. He knows that a woman's emotional state will either be his sanctuary or his battlefield, and a wise man always chooses peace. At the end of the day, a Stoic man isn't defined by how much he can tolerate. He's defined by how much peace he's willing to protect. In a world that glorifies chaos, emotional drama, and instant pleasure, the Stoic man chooses something rare: clarity. He doesn't fall for intensity masquerading as love. He doesn't confuse attention for affection, and he doesn't let desire blind him to disrespect. He knows that the true test of a man's strength is not in how much he can fight for someone, but in how gracefully he can walk away from what disturbs his soul. The Stoic man understands that attraction without alignment is an illusion. You can be drawn to someone's beauty, their charm, their mystery, but if their energy doesn't nourish your growth, it will slowly drain your peace. That's why he studies patterns, not promises. He watches actions, not apologies. He listens to tone, not just words. Because wisdom isn't in what people say, it's in what they repeat. When a woman shows him who she is through her patterns, he believes her the first time. Stoic philosophy teaches that control begins with awareness. So instead of trying to fix broken people or change unstable hearts, the Stoic man focuses inward. He strengthens his emotional discipline. He trains his mind to respond, not react. And he cultivates the kind of peace that no one can shake, not even the most beautiful distraction. His power comes from stillness, and his strength from restraint. The woman who truly deserves him will not fear his silence. She will find comfort in it. In love, as in life, a Stoic man seeks harmony, not possession. He doesn't chase validation or force connection. He knows that what is meant for him will align with his principles, not demand that he abandon them. A woman who truly values him will bring calm to his fire, not fuel to his chaos. She will respect his boundaries, honor his purpose, and understand his silence. With her, peace will not be an effort. It will be the natural rhythm of their bond. So to every man watching this, learn to protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. Don't ignore the red flags your intuition keeps showing you. Don't confuse chaos for chemistry. Don't mistake being needed for being valued. A Stoic man walks through life knowing that peace is the greatest form of power, and the right woman will never make him sacrifice it. Stay calm, stay focused, and keep mastering yourself, because the man who conquers himself can never be conquered by anyone else.